how many times must I tell you? You must never put your life on the line for me.
Mother has always had a fascination for Lord Mortimer, but has never wanted to tell me why.
We are doing our utmost to find your mother as quickly as possible. Without your mother, hundreds of men of the cloth would have gone to the guillotine.
All I can tell you is I'm looking for my sister.
Do you believe your mother capable of torturing a child?
An agreement for cannons. Lord Mortimer assured me that you are to take over the project on behalf of your mother.
Johann Christoph von Wollner, Minister of Religious Affairs, and Jacques Peroux, French Revolutionary Tribunal Judge. You will find that Lord Mortimer is not what one would call conventional, Monsieur de Richet. Monsieur de Richet, I am arresting you for the murder of Elizabeth Adams.
Ja, und damit willkommen zu The Council. Welche Lektüre lesen wir heute? Die Regeln der Höflichkeit, ich habe das doch alles schon irgendwie mal. Ja, wenn ich das lese, plus ein Punkt Politik, ein Punkt in Übersetzung, plus ein Punkt Belesenheit, Manipulation. Das habe ich noch nicht gemacht, wie es scheint. Ja. Ist ja auch gut, ja. Muss ja auch mal was anderes lesen. Okay, da sind wir wieder. Lord Mortimers Arbeitszimmer am 22. Januar 1793. The Council.
At last we meet, Monsieur de Richet. Do you mind if I call you Louis?
Please do.
Thank you. I wish to apologize wholeheartedly, Louis. I made you cross the seas, and I wasn't even here to welcome you. When I asked you to join us here, it was, of course, in the hope that you would help us find your mother. But an act of horrific violence occurred during the night. And I do not know if this is linked to the disappearance of Sarah.
Ja, Lord Mortimer, den hatten wir noch nie zu Gesicht bekommen, bin ich der Meinung. Ja. Also, ich weiß nicht, ob sie etwas mit Sarahs Verschwinden zu tun hat. Wie meint er das? Eine Verbindung zu meiner Mutter? Kann ja alles möglich sein. Ja, ich will herausfinden, wo die ist.
If there's a possible link to my mother, I hope you'll let me know.
In the early hours of the morning, Elizabeth Adams was found dead in her room, savagely mutilated with a knife. I'll get straight to the point, Louis. According to the initial elements at my disposal, you were the last person to see her alive.
Yes, last night do you suspect me?
I want you to tell me everything that happened last night and leave nothing out. Tell me, how did the evening begin?
Ach, stimmt. Ich wurde beschuldigt. Oder noch nicht. Oder ich bin der Hauptverdächtige. Ja, weil die tot in ihrem Zimmer lag. Okay. Ja, das darf ich nicht. Da fehlen mir die Punkte. Okay, ich war in Begleitung von Herzogin. Ja, ist ja auch ungefähr dasselbe. Ja.
Duchess Hillsborough and I were returning to our rooms when Elizabeth came up to us. She was in a state of panic and insisted that she needed to speak to me. She said she feared for her life. I took my leave of the Duchess and followed Elizabeth to her room.
Mm-hmm. Continue.
She insisted we have a drink, without which she refused to confide anything.
What exactly did she want to speak about?
About my mother. She had just found out that I was Sarah de Richet's son. Elizabeth wanted to tell me about the horrors my mother apparently inflicted on her.
Finding out that your own parents had always lied to you. Well, that must not have been an easy thing to hear. But do go on.
I refused to go on drinking with her. She already seemed drunk and her conversation became confused. So, then she ordered me to get out. If only I'd stayed.
Don't blame yourself, Louis. How could you have known? But thank you for this new information. Louis, I shan't hide the fact that this tragedy puts me in a very delicate situation. I cannot risk upsetting the smooth operation of our next conference. But the case cannot remain unaddressed. I must reassure my guests, and justice will be done. And for that to happen, I must ask for your help.
Why's that?
You met Elizabeth. You spoke together, I believe. She trusted you. Listen, Louis. Find out who could have committed this murder. I refuse to believe that one of my guests, you. You have my backing. You must stop at nothing. Can I count on you?
Of course. How would you like me to proceed?
Maybe you could start by going to the scene of the crime. Elizabeth was attacked in her room.
Do you have any suspects in mind, my lord?
I spent most of the night talking with Sir Gregory and His Eminence Piaggi, so I think you can remove them from the list of suspects. Monsieur Bonaparte and President Washington left the party after midnight, I believe. They were tired and went up to bed.
Can you tell me anything else about what happened?
Now, Louis, I wouldn't want to influence you. Get over there and form your own opinion.
Right. I'll get over there immediately.
Thank you, Louis. Now, once you've finished, come back and let me know your findings. I'll be waiting. And Louis, you've got permission to search through the guests' rooms. They've all been notified and they agree.
Ja, das ist ja wunderbar, dass ich mich jetzt in den Zimmern der Gäste umschauen kann. Das ist aber nicht schlecht, oder? Ich schaue mich aber auch hier um. Ah, nein, ja, darf ich wahrscheinlich nicht unbedingt. Er sitzt ja noch da und deswegen. Untersuche Adams Tod. Ich würde meinen, dass ich hier gehe. Wo habe ich denn überhaupt die ganzen... Ah, das habe ich nicht mehr. Was war das? Was ist denn hier für ein Loch? Okay. Jetzt kann ich rumstöbern. Jetzt kann ermittelt werden. Na, hier nicht. Doch eingeschränkt in meinem Vorgehen. Hier auch nicht. Ich hoffe, man sieht das ordentlich, dass es hier nicht allzu sehr ruckelt. Wenn ich mich umschaue, das geht ja manchmal ziemlich schnell.
Good day, Monsieur de Richet.
Mr. Volner, are you looking for anything in particular? Next to Elizabeth's room?
No, nothing special.
Has anyone told you that Elizabeth was killed last night?
Yes. Rumors spread quickly.
He looks very put out.
It's horrible. How did it happen?
I can say nothing to you, sir. You'd better follow your host's instructions and stay in your quarters.
I shall leave you now, sir. I will return to my room.
Schade, ich durfte die anderen Fragen gar nicht stellen. Ah, das war der Tatort, oder? Ah, schön, Pentagramm. Mal schauen, was wir hier finden. Also ich war es nicht, ich habe mich nur unterhalten. Ah, die liegt doch immer noch da. Schaurig. Aber ich muss hier anfangen. So. Oh.
Has Sir finished with this room? No, I haven't gone over everything yet.
Sir may take his time. When Sir would like to leave, Sir has only to tell me.
Das wär's ja noch. Ich erzähle denen, dass ich ja fertig bin und hab noch
My
nicht
dear
mal
Elizabeth,
angefangen.
I'm writing to inform you of some unfortunate news. We won't be able to meet as planned on the first Sunday of May. I've been told that you're no better, and, unfortunately, your brothers and I are absolutely snowed under by the work required to govern this new country. Please excuse us. As soon as we can get free, even if it's just for a day, I promise we shall come and see you. Your loving father, John Adams. P.S. Don't hold it against your mother. She still isn't ready. Please don't judge her. I'm sure you'll be able to put all of this behind you one day. Clock stopped at 3:54. If it was smashed during the murder, then I've just established the time of the crime. A pentagram? What the hell's been going on here? Contrary to what most people believe, a pentagram's not there to conjure up, I don't know what evil or demonic creature. With the point toward the top, the pentagram is an ancient symbol of protection against evil. Contrary to what most people believe, a pentagram's not there to conjure up, I don't know what evil or demonic creature. With the point toward the top, the pentagram is an ancient symbol of protection against evil.
Ja, ich habe das doch jetzt schon gehört. Ich erinnere mich an Mutters Bücher.
Many esoteric rituals are based on this shape. Could Elizabeth have been sacrificed during an occult ritual?
Davon gehe ich mal noch nicht aus. Unten. Was ist das? Offenbart Immunitäten, Schwächen, hebt Effekte auf. Nächste Fertigkeit, Einsatz kostet dich nichts.
A notebook, written in Elizabeth's handwriting. It is written in a mix of several languages. Not too easy to work out. It's medieval Latin, well enough to translate a bit. He's coming. The demon is upon me. He's coming back to kill me. There she is. Death has come to finish me off. I've just run into her son. That was her last entry. What tortured writing. A novel of the initiation of a young woman into polite society. August 24th, 1792. Elizabeth, I am driven to despair and doubt there is any point in writing to you. I'm not even sure you'll receive my letters. Father controls my correspondence more and more. I am certain he filters our exchanges. Thankfully, one of the chambermaids is able to help me get my letters to you. But they still remain unanswered. I often think about you and pray every day to be able to hold you tight. We have so much time to make up. I beg you, answer me, please. Your loving sister, Abigail. P.S. That horrible woman came again yesterday. She spent a long time speaking with Father. I didn't understand everything because they spoke in French, but I'm sure they were talking about you.
Hier sind aber auch schon einige verwirrende Symbole.
August 24th.
Ach, das habe ich alles jetzt gelesen, ja.
June 11th. June 11th,
Nein.
1791. My dear Elizabeth, your last letter gave me much cause for concern. Your words were so cold. as if emotions no longer matter to you. Father maintains that the secondary effects of your treatment still trouble you, but that they will soon subside. Should I believe him? I cling to the belief that we shall soon see each other again, at long last. Right soon. Your loving sister, Abigail. P.S. Don't forget to tell me what present you want.
Also ich lese hier eins raus, dass die ziemlich viel Angst hatte. Oh. Pistol.
Pistol? Fairly new, I'd say. And judging by the weight of it, fairly light. A tribute engraved on the barrel. To the liberators of France. There's a few dried traces of blood on the grip. Difficult to know for sure how they got there. It's extremely well maintained. The barrel is perfectly clean. It isn't loaded, and well, there's no traces of gunshot residue. I'd conclude that it hasn't been used recently. Right. I shall have to find its owner. Piece of fabric. High quality at that. I'd say it's silk. Going by the texture and the gray hue, it must come from a dress, that kind that women of quality wear. It's a travel dress. The silk has been lightly waxed to protect it from bad weather. And I know the very woman who came up with the idea, given all the traveling she does. My mother. God help us. Why did she come here in the first place? The material appears to have undergone abnormal wear and tear. She must have been scouring the countryside, and that doesn't look good. Vials of laudanum. The label shows that this laudanum comes straight from America. I wonder if Washington's involved.
Ja, ich möchte hier ein paar Punkte sparen, denn ich bin mir ganz sicher, dass ich das auch anders rausbekomme. Okay, jetzt nichts vergessen, bevor ich hier gehe.
The blade is short and thin, well sharpened, apparently. It's covered in blood, still fresh. The lower part of the handle is unsullied by blood. The murderer gripped the weapon so tight, but there's no blood where he held it. The handprint indicates a small and slender hand. Poor girl bled to death. Whoever left that footprint has boats for feet. That's at least a size 15. Where's a size like that here? Peru? Washington, maybe. Blood spatter indicates that the murderer must have held Elizabeth upright during the attack. Even if Elizabeth wasn't very big, I doubt she wouldn't have put up a struggle. It takes tremendous strength to overpower someone like that.
Das ist seltsam, eine große Person mit kleinen Händen wegen dem Griff. Das war das Messer, okay. Okay. Jetzt gehe ich schon wieder da drauf. Hör doch mal auf damit. Ach, das habe ich doch im Griff.
Bled to death. swear
Na, überspring doch.
footprint has boats for feet. It's at least a size 15.
Ich drücke
Where's a
B.
size like that here?
Es überspringt nichts.
Peru? Washington, maybe.
Mann, Mann, Mann.
Knocked over bottle of wine.
Ich will nicht 3 Punkte verbrauchen. Riechen ist ziemlich dumm. Ich weiß.
Same thing Elizabeth served me last night. Still just as disgusting. I don't know what's happened to this wine, but it's undrinkable.
So, ich glaube, ich bin fertig mit dem Raum. Ich bin hier von links nach rechts, wenn ich nicht ganz oben noch was übersehen habe. Ja, kann ja auch sein. Durcheinander hier. Die Flaschen, die Läche, das haben wir alles untersucht. Oh, hier ist doch noch was.
A chest with a half circle pattern.
Knacken natürlich. Oh, Zitrone. Sieht aus wie Zitrone, was ich schon mal für meine Schrift benutzt habe.
An untutored hand copied these notes. Looks like a healing method. Well, that's a pity. The writing is barely legible.
Kann ja nicht so schlimm sein, wenn ich die Notiz mitnehme. Ich habe es immerhin auch aufgeknackt. Muss ja niemand erfahren, oder? So. Ich bin fertig. Meister.
Has Sir finished with this room?
Wer hat in diesem Zimmer so ein Chaos angerichtet?
Do you know who could have made such a mess of this room?
Miss Adams, sir. We were given orders to leave the room as it was, so as not to rush her.
Did she have a fight with someone to get the room into this state?
Not that I know of, sir. Miss Adams would sometimes throw a tantrum, during which she would destroy anything that came to hand. Lord Mortimer told us not to enter the room.
Thanks for that information.
You are welcome, sir. Has Sir finished with this room?
I know enough now. Thank you.
Very well, sir. Sir may return whenever need be. I shall guard the door.
So. Mr. Washington. Miss Adams hat kleine Hände, habe ich gerade erfahren, die das Zimmer aufräumen sollte. Leuchtet nur was, ich brauche ja meine.
President George Washington.
Ah. Mal schauen, ob er drin ist. Wenn nicht, dann ist er bestimmt unten irgendwo. So. Auf geht's. Erstmal ein Buch mitgenommen. Ja, Belesenheit bringt uns auch weiter.
A map of Vermont.
Vermont. Warum kriege ich nicht das mit den Punkten hier? Mit den Punkten. Das Elixier, das brauche ich jetzt mal. Oh, der steht der doch. Da ist er doch. Aber den frage ich erstmal noch nichts. Schaue mich erstmal um.
It looks like a note between Emily and Washington about trade deals.
My dear George, I'd like to invite you to join me as planned at my place. I have a project to show you. It is time that the United States played a more important role on the world stage. I understand your reluctance of playing with fire. I know your new country is very young, but rest assured that I would do nothing to jeopardize what we have built together.
I look forward to seeing you soon. Your friend, William.
Ah, die USA, ja. Amerika war noch ziemlich jung. Das war's in der Zeit.
Carmelite water. You say that if you drink this, it gives you a real boost. Carmelite water. You say that if you drink this, it gives you a real boost.
Ich habe keine Ahnung.
Portrait of George Washington.
Ah, hier draußen steht er. Na, endlich. Ah, das geht mich nichts an. Ne? So, Mr. Washington. Ich widme mich jetzt Ihnen mal.
Greetings, Louis.
Mr. President, you can guess why I'm here.
Of course.
Lord Mortimer has sent me to ask you a few questions about last night.
It's... How am I going to tell Elizabeth's father that she's dead?
I know, Mr. President. I shall endeavor to find out the truth about this tragedy. I must ask you to help me, though. Please.
Find the degenerate pig who did this, Louis.
Tell me, Mr. President, had you spoken to Elizabeth since your arrival? You know her father. You thought she was dead.
No, I didn't. And I believe I'll be taking my remorse with me to my grave. I wanted to, but I didn't know where to begin.
You can't blame yourself. You couldn't have known that her days were numbered. Were you aware that Elizabeth took laudanum?
Yes, she came to ask me for some. She had finished her reserve, I believe.
Did she tell you why she was so desperate to get some, Mr. President?
She said she had terrible migraines that wouldn't go away.
More likely for the voices she heard, not the migraines.
Do you know if she had any enemies, Mr. President?
Not that I know of. I heard about her altercation with Mr. Perry, but that case was closed, if I'm not mistaken. But if in doubt, I wouldn't leave any door unopened, and I'd go and question your fellow countrymen.
Don't worry. Countryman or not, I'm not letting anybody slip through the cracks. Do you know why she came to the island?
To get help, if I'm not mistaken. Isn't that right?
Indeed. Sir Gregory suggested to her father that he introduce her to Lord Mortimer to see if he could help her.
Yes, Lord Mortimer has a talent for healing, apparently. I'm not surprised Sir Gregory advised her to come.
Agreed. Mr. President, we found a footprint at the scene of the crime.
Not a dress shoe, I hope. That's all I wear.
No, rest assured. It looks like the print of a big ankle boot. A large size, I'd say.
Perfect. That should help you, Louis. It's a clue.
Ja, es gab noch Fragen, aber ich glaube, ich lasse den erstmal in Ruhe. So, in welche Richtung kam ich jetzt? Von hier hinten, ne? Ich muss noch die Haushälterin oder die das Zimmer gesäubert hat, muss ich noch finden. Oh, hier ist nichts. Irgendwo. Ach, hier ist zu, ja. Okay, da ist auch niemand da. Die nicht da sind, die sind unten. Warum juckt jetzt mein Ohr? Mann, nee. Glaube ich auch nicht rein. Ich sollte besser gucken vorher, welches Zimmer ich betrete.
King George III in coronation robes. Nice touch for the room of an English Duchess.
Oh, der Raum hat schon einen ganz schönen Touch. Aber einen noblen Touch. Was ist das hier? Beschwörungsbuch? Nein.
Dear E, I received your last letter. Unfortunately, the Crown informed the Golden Order that our mission should under no circumstances hamper Sir Gregory's plans. Decidedly, they have support from the highest level in Buckingham Palace. So here we both are, hands and feet tied, and little room to maneuver. Keep me abreast of events. Our mission is becoming more complicated. Yours, E. P.S. The French chapter of the Order doesn't appear to know anything about the arrival of our friend Sarah. I therefore cannot comment on it. However, my guess is that she has come here for personal reasons.
The Lady's Waldegrave by Reynolds, painted upon the request of the Waldegrave family, in an effort to find them a husband. Displayed like meat. It's disgusting.
Grammar of Port-Royal. Ah, the artistry of the French language and all its splendor. Whoever masters French commands the world, at least une partie of it.
King George III in coronation robes. Nice touch for the room of an English Duchess.
A letter from William Pitt the Younger, addressed to Emily. He's the present Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Emily has indeed some powerful backers. Madam, thank you for consoling the Queen. The King's situation is worsening, but I wager he'll recover from this present fit. Next time you speak with Her Majesty the Queen, would you please be so kind as to ask her to look into my petition to raise taxes with the King? I will personally see to it that our nation will recover from this impasse. But King George's mental situation is slowing down our decision-taking. Thank you in advance for all your help. William Pitt, Prime Minister of the United Kingdom of Great Britain.
Oh Mann, ich laufe ungern durch Figuren. Herzogin, Sie können König George davon in Kenntnis setzen, dass ihm die Unterstützung des Heiligen Vaters gewiss ist. Wir werden Sie bei der Rekrutierung von Regnern aus einen Royalisten, oh Mann, die gegen Frankreich Kampf. Ach komm, heute bin ich nicht so, ich weiß nicht.
2 coils circle the lock.
Ich knack das Schloss. Schon wieder ein Brief.
Dear Gregory, thank you for the information. I've managed to find out about the names you gave me. George Washington is a man you can trust. In spite of his obvious talent for politics, he has remained upright and honest. On the other hand, as you may well know, he is already doing business with Lord Mortimer. It will be more difficult to approach him. Napoleon Bonaparte was unknown to me until today. He's a passionate young French soldier for whom Mortimer predicts a promising future. Take heed. He is a man of conviction, which to my mind makes him potentially dangerous. As for Sarah de Richet, what more is there to say? You already know each other. She was apparently invited by Lord Mortimer about an ongoing matter in Paris that concerns a receiver in stolen art. See you soon. Duchess Emily Hillsborough.
I have no space left. I'll retrieve it later.
Dear Gregory,
I have no space left. I'll retrieve it later.
Queen Charlotte. All the royal family of England is there from what I can tell.
A letter from William Pitt the Elder addressed to Emily. He was the English Prime Minister. This letter dates from 15 years ago now.
Madam, I shall never thank you enough for all your care and attention. I shall be indebted to you until my last breath. If you have any request of me, you only need ask. With regards to my son William, I shall never thank you enough for looking after him. You know the latter's preferences, and you will understand he needs you desperately. For that, and as agreed with Queen Charlotte, our friend Duke Hillsborough will carry out his task and meet with you within 6 months. From then on, you'll be free from want. Yours sincerely, William Pitt, Count of Chatham.
A devil's thorn, to be used to uncover the best disguised traits.
Ja, jetzt habe ich nichts mehr. Teufels. Was war das jetzt?
A devil's thorn, to be used to uncover the best disguised traits.
So. Okay, okay. Naja, das ist ja dreist, die Handtasche, lasse ich jetzt mal. Also, Emily macht ihre eigenen Untersuchungen, weil sie ihre Schwester sucht. Und ich suche herauszufinden, was mit meiner Mutter passiert ist. Und warum und wieso. So.
what can I do for you, Louis?
I've come to see you about last night's tragedy. Did you hear anything about what happened to Elizabeth?
Yes, we all did. Rumors spread quickly, you know. How awful. I didn't know her well, but I hope at least the poor thing didn't suffer too much.
Elizabeth was stabbed 9 times. No doubt she suffered greatly.
9 times? What monster is capable of such a horrible thing? Do you know what happened exactly?
In fact, Lord Mortimer has asked me to look into this case, Emily.
Really? Are you Lord Mortimer's snoop now?
I'm doing it for Elizabeth, not to please Mortimer.
Good for you. Quite right, too. Have you found out anything?
I'm now interviewing all the guests to establish the alibis for each person. Just so that I can cross you off the list of suspects, can you tell me what you were doing on the night of the murder?
Am I given to understand that I'm on the list of suspects?
Don't take it the wrong way, but I must consider every possibility.
Well, if you absolutely wanted to be sure of my activities that evening, you only had to join me, you know.
I know, Emily. Especially since I couldn't prevent the murder, even though I spent part of the evening with Elizabeth.
You're sure it's not too hard to bear for you?
The fact is, I don't have a choice. But I will find the murderer. I owe Elizabeth that, at least. Did you and Elizabeth get to know each other?
I must admit, Louis, I didn't take much interest in her. I feel a bit guilty about it, but I never actually spoke to her. She seemed burdened by her problems, and as she wasn't invited to the conference, I didn't really seek her out.
I hear you were in discussions with the Holy See.
Oh, either His Eminence can't keep his tongue from wagging, or you've been poking your nose where you shouldn't, sir.
Even so, Emily, you're raising a royalist army. That's no small matter.
And you are straying from the subject. Is there anything else you wanted to ask me?
I found a torn piece of dress in Miss Adams' room. Gray silk.
Where's it from?
That's what I'm trying to find out. The color doesn't match any of Elizabeth's dresses, but I might not have found all of her clothes yet.
Good Lord, Louis, do you realize what this means? If this piece of dress isn't from Elizabeth, then it's... I don't have any grey silk dresses, Louis. Neither does my sister, since we wear the same clothes.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to check with you.
I'm so sorry, Louis.
Thank you.
Are you all right? You know, I'm sure there's a good reason why your mother was at the scene.
Thank you, Emily. We found the murder weapon.
What is it?
A dagger, quite slim.
Have you found its owner?
Not yet. Still searching as it happens. That said, since the blade penetrated the body several times, the murderer's hand will have been covered in blood.
You think that's a clue?
The handprint was a very slender hand, Emily. Probably that of a woman.
Do you realize what that means? There are only 3 of us on the island. Bearing in mind that neither my sister nor myself had any reason to set upon the young lady, that means...
I know, Emily. I know.
Keep up your courage, Louis. I'm sure there's an explanation. You're bound to shed some light on it all.
If what you say is true, Emily, I'm less and less enthusiastic about shedding any light on the subject. I won't keep you, Emily. Thank you for answering my questions.
See you, Louis.
Tja. Okay. Halt, was war das jetzt hier? Hier ist noch was Kleines. Ah, ist immer das von dem, wo ich zu viel davon habe. Ne? Aber wie schon angemerkt, ich kann ja zurückkommen. So, und jetzt muss ich wieder sehen. Ah, genau, ich kam von der Richtung. Darf ich nach unten gehen? Nein, ich darf nicht nach unten gehen. Okay, das ist schon mal gut. Bedeutet, ich müsste eigentlich zu Lord Mortimer nochmal hochgehen. Also, ich vertraue George Washington.
Monsieur Napoleon Bonaparte.
Napoleon Bonaparte. Waren wir da schon drin? Ich glaube nicht. Also, wenn der jetzt hier auch irgendwo... Ah, der sitzt hier hinten. Nein, mit denen habe ich noch nicht geredet. Die haben alle ihre speziellen Räume bekommen. Schaut euch das an, ey. So was Nobles.
A bicorn decorated with a cockade. It must belong to a French soldier. The Battle of Alexander at Issus, or how Alexander the Great triumphed over King Darius. Yet another one with delusions of grandeur. Vercingetorix throws down his arms at the feet of Julius Caesar by Royer, 2 great army chiefs.
My dear Napoleon, as previously agreed, I would like to ask you to join us in January on my island to participate in the High Society meeting organized for the occasion. We shall be able to continue our discussion about our project for a new order for France. I have a proposition to make to you concerning your wish to put a strong leader at the head of France. I trust you to be discreet as to your coming. See you soon. Lord William Mortimer.
Ja, das sind die ganzen Einladungen halt.
There's just one holster in Bonaparte's gear, and the pistol is missing. On the other hand, his cleaning equipment is in mint condition. That's typical of the soldier in him.
Verdächtig, ja, denn Napoleon Bonaparte, ja. Die Waffe fehlt im Holster.
French actor Talma is Nero in Britannicus, the last emperor of the Caesar dynasty.
Kann ich raus? Nein, zum Glück. Zum Glück. Das ist immer schön, weil zu viel. Was habe ich jetzt genommen? Dieser nicht das, was ich brauche. So, schauen wir uns erstmal auf dem
It's a beautiful weapon. A lovely damask blade. It's marked with the initials of the manufacturer in Versailles.
Was habe ich denn wieder? Ach, warum stand das jetzt so komisch da?
My dearest son, I'm writing to implore you to act quickly. The situation is rapidly worsening here. Paoli continues to steer our motherland, Corsica, toward open warfare between France and England. His men are everywhere. We are obliged to go into hiding and are unable to remain in the same place for more than 2 days. I wouldn't be surprised if they targeted us soon. Make haste, my son. You hold our destiny in your hands. Your loving mother, Maria Letizia Bonaparte.
Maria Letizia Bonaparte.
Carmelite water. They say that if you drink this, it gives you a real boost.
Ach, hier gibt mir nichts einen Boost. Das, was ich suche, kriege ich nicht. Okay.
Monsieur de Richet, please be quick. We are both very busy.
Did you hear about young Elizabeth?
Indeed, it is deeply regrettable.
Lord Mortimer asked me to...
I know. You no doubt want to know my alibi. I spent the night downstairs playing cards.
Can you tell me who was present at the game, please?
Well, there were Lord Mortimer, President Washington, and Sir Gregory.
Thank you.
Ah, and His Eminence Piaget as well. Excuse me, I nearly forgot him. Poor soul.
Did you notice anything unusual during the evening?
Nothing at all, except the luck of the devil of Lord Mortimer and Sir Gregory at cards.
Did they win much?
Oh la la, monsieur, they cleaned us out more like. But I plan on getting it all back before we leave.
Did any of you leave during the game?
Not that I know of, monsieur. I didn't exactly spend my time noting the other guests' comings and goings, but I don't think so.
Thank you. What time did the game end?
I can't say exactly. As for me, I must have stayed until midnight. I was exhausted, couldn't think straight, so I preferred to go up to bed.
On your way up to bed, did you notice anything out of the ordinary?
No, not in the least. The whole manor was sound asleep.
Not really. No. As any good soldier would, I imagine you own a firearm. May I see it?
Oh, well, if you really want to, here is my pistol. Don't worry, it is not loaded.
Do you have several of these?
In Corsica, oui, but not on me when I am traveling. Only a bandit would carry such an arsenal.
Thank you.
Well, have we finished, monsieur?
Exactly. Thanks again for all your answers. Good day.
Tja, ich müsste... Da kam ich nicht runter. Normalerweise nochmal zu George Washington gehen, weil der den auch jetzt erwähnt hat.
So Jacques Peru?
Jacques Peru? Oh. Was geht jetzt ab?
What do you want from me, de Richet?
Greetings. It's fallen to me
Cut
that...
the crap! Get to the point. We both know why you're here.
And have you got anything to tell me?
What does it matter? It's too late anyway. Do what you have to do and get out. All right. Have you finished?
Not quite. I'd like you to answer a few questions. I know you were at the scene. We will save a lot of time if you just tell me what happened.
You know nothing at all.
Enlighten me then. For now, I have your footprint in a pool of blood.
That's right. The only thing you can prove is one of my boots was at the scene. Congratulations, you've wrapped up the investigation.
Boah, jetzt hatte ich schon Angst, ich kann das Zimmer nicht mehr durchsuchen.
A pattern with 4 circles.
Ah, Schloss knacken geht nicht mehr. Schlüssel verwenden, ja, da müsste ich erstmal einen haben. Habe ich überhaupt schon mal einen Schlüssel dafür gehabt?
The Massacre of the Innocents, but by Van Harlem. I think that Mortimer likes to play mind games with his guests.
Ja, Lord Mortimer, ich höre immer was von einer neuen Ordnung. Ich denke mir, ja, das soll eine neue Weltordnung werden. Wenn man hier mal betrachtet, was hier alles los ist. Wer hier alles eingeladen ist. Die ganzen Größen, die ganzen Präsidenten und hast du nicht gesehen. Ja, ich kann nichts mehr knacken. Ach, ich habe so viel Unsinn aufgemacht. Da muss ich erstmal suchen, ob ich noch irgendwo was finde.
Records of the police. Notes intended for the police lieutenant of Paris. It's a list of people under surveillance in Paris. And there's some well-known names on it. This is valuable information. This shouldn't be lying around.
Schwäche erkannt. Aha. Und das war vorhin ständig rot. Habe ich keine Schwäche erkannt, da habe ich nichts gefunden. Ist das jetzt mal... Nein, natürlich nicht. Das auch nicht. Wahrscheinlich was ich im Überfluss habe.
Dear friend, please come and join us. We must meet about the ongoing operations in Paris. A boat will be waiting for you in Calais and will take you to Dover in England. From there, a carriage will take you to the port of Tintagel, where a frigate will be waiting for you and other guests, so you can meet up with me on my island as quickly as possible. I await your arrival. Lord William Mortimer.
Die aktuelle Situation in Paris möchte er mit ihm besprechen. Okay. Schon gesagt, das klingt für mich wie eine neue Weltordnung. So. Jetzt habe ich die Schwäche erkannt. Draußen kann ich nicht, das ist super. So, und jetzt lass noch mal drüber reden.
All right. Have you finished?
Not quite. I'd like you to answer a few questions. You were armed the night of my arrival. Can I see your weapon?
No.
You do realize you're not helping, don't you? You're making it worse for yourself. I'd like to talk about the letter you're writing. What woman is it addressed to?
Who says it's a woman? I'm not saying any more. There's no point you insisting.
So, der schweigt.
A pattern with 4 circles.
Schlüssel. Ach, hatte ich einen gefunden? Ist mir gar nicht aufgefallen. Wieder ein Brief dazu. Oh, ich habe das Elixier, glaube ich, gefunden, was ich brauche.
Dear Monsieur Peru, I'm writing to thank you for the funds you sent. These funds will be crucial for the renovation of the western wing of the orphanage. The children you sent are doing marvelously well, and little Pierre will soon be walking. Some of them still sometimes suffer nightmares about their parents on the scaffold, but I expect they will cease in due course. Should you decide to send us more, please note that another 20 beds will soon be ready. The children... I have no space left. I'll retrieve it later. Dear Monsieur I have no space left. I'll retrieve it later.
Ja, wenn ich noch wüsste, was das alles ist, hebt negative Effekte auf. Das hatte ich vorhin mal. Offenbart Immunitäten, Schwächen. Der nächste Fertigkeiten kostet nichts. So, Immunitäten schwächen.
Nice decor for revolutionary tribunal judges.
Also, du sollst
All right. Have you finished?
Not quite. I'd like you to answer a few questions.
Hat er seine Waffe noch? Seinen Brief, den habe ich, da hat er geschwiegen. Fußabdruck.
Goodbye, sir. We shall meet again.
Probably.
Doch ich kann ja nichts machen. Mir fehlen sämtliche Dinge dazu. So, ich muss immer schauen. Ich kam von hier hin. Nach unten darf ich nicht. Ich gehe gleich mal nach oben wieder. Wo auch immer das jetzt war. Na, ich glaube. Wo war denn das oben? Ah, okay. Hier noch was finde. Es war für mich verdächtig. Er will die Waffe nicht zeigen, die Stiefel, seine Abdrücke. Auf der anderen Seite waren auch von irgendwelchen Spenden die Rede mit 20 Betten für Kinder und so. Und ist schwierig. Am Ende war es dann doch nicht. Es ist ja kein eindeutiger Beweis. Es ist nur eine Vermutung. Und ich darf nicht nach Chorisch. Mein Gott, stehst du schon lange hier? Hallo, Padre.
Your Eminence, I imagine that you've heard the news about Miss Adams.
What a tragedy, my son. How could such a thing have happened?
That's exactly what I'm trying to find out. Did you notice anything out of the ordinary last night?
I saw the young French soldier, Bonaparte, I believe, hanging around near Miss Adams' room. But I would not want to get an innocent man into trouble, Louis. It's probably nothing. But if I were you, my son, I would talk to Monsieur Peru. You remember how violently he set upon Miss Adams.
Oh, don't worry. He's on the list of suspects. I've come to speak about the findings of the investigation, my lord.
I'm listening, Louis.
Jetzt wird's schwierig für mich. Oh.
Will you remind me of the facts we already know about?
Elizabeth Adams was killed last night, but Piaggi was with Holm and I until late at night. As for Bonaparte and Washington, they left us after midnight, both tired.
I'll be in touch as soon as I have any more information.
Ich kenne den Täter doch gar nicht so richtig. Es ist nur dieser aufbrausende, sehr auffällig aufbrausende, der mir die Waffe nicht zeigen wollte. Sollte ich den jetzt anklagen? Ist das jetzt...
Which four-letter word could open this chest?
Code. Ein Code. Nein. Was war ARSN? Ness, vierten Buchstabe, ersten. Zeus. Ist nur geschätzt, ja. Oh, tatsächlich. Tatsächlich hat es geklappt, weil ich habe hier an die ganzen großen monumentalen Figuren gedacht jetzt. Tja, ich kann doch nicht sagen, wer es war. Ich kann es einfach nicht. Da musste noch jemand, wo ist denn der?
Monsieur Johann von Wulner.
Ach, das ist doch... War das nicht? Oder? Den Zähler, der ist der Verdächtigste, ist für mich dieser Ruppige. Der überhaupt nicht überhaupt niemand gut zu sprechen ist. Von Wulner waren wir hier schon. Sammelmünze, eine Sammelmünze habe ich gefunden. Nein, da war ich hier noch nicht. Das klingt seltsam, ich weiß. Van Wulner, nein, hier waren wir nicht.
The Sorrows of Young Werther. There's a handwritten text signed by von Werner on this first page. Dear Elizabeth, I know that this book is but a small token compared to the delightful moments you gave me, but I hope that this will nonetheless keep the memory alive. Your ever obedient servant. So, Volner had a relationship with Elizabeth, but that's hardly surprising given his fondness for the occult.
Dieser Wulner hatte eine Beziehung mit Elizabeth.
Golden Elixir.
Ja, wieso nicht das, was ich mache? Ich habe das schon 1000-mal erzählt.
A chest locked with a 4-letter code. Surely a word close to the owner's heart.
Nein, jetzt weiß ich's. Ich habe keine Ahnung. Zweite Foto. Das oben mit dem Zeus, das war... Zeig mir irgendeinen Hinweis.
The alchemist is a young man.
Mit den Bildern wird das kaum was zu tun haben. Elizabeth ist zu lang.
The signs of obscurantism.
Was steht hier? Few. Nein, das kann nicht sein. Feud. Nein, das wäre zu weit hergeholt.
The Sorrows of Young Werther. There's a handwritten text signed by von Werner on this first page. Dear Elizabeth, I know that this book is but a small token compared to the delightful moments you gave me, but I hope that this will nonetheless keep the memory alive. Your ever obedient servant. So, Volner had a relationship with Elizabeth, but that's hardly surprising given his fondness for the occult.
Steht hier was das Wort bedeuten könnte?
A table of alchemical symbols. Someone circled the zinc symbol.
Zink. 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 Zink ist Zink-Symbol, hat jemand eingetragen.
A chest locked with a 4-letter code. Surely a word close to the owner's heart.
Zink. Zink, dritter Buchstabe. Ah, ja, doch nicht so schwer. Ne? Und das Elixier, das hatte ich mal näher. Irgendwann. Bin ich der Meinung. So, ehe wir hier zur Befragung kommen.
Amber crystals. The alchemist is an old man.
Das Zink-Symbol. Und hinten steht auch die berühmte Zinkwanne. Ist hier noch was? Nein. Okay, okay, okay. Oh, ich habe alles von allem zu viel, außer das, was ich will. Nun gut, dann stellen wir mal unsere Fragen.
What can I do for you, de Richet?
Monsieur, Lord Mortimer has appointed me to investigate the tragedy that befell us last night.
Oh, yes. It's horrible. Yes. How can I help, monsieur?
Where were you last night?
In my room. I read a few ancient manuscripts before going to bed. But I didn't stay up long. I was tired.
Thank you kindly. Excuse me for asking, but did you know Miss Adams?
Oh, she... not really, to tell the truth. No.
I found the Werther dedication, signed by your hand, monsieur. Would you like to change your version now?
Be careful, de Richet. Don't push your luck. My relationship with Miss Adams was pure, and has nothing to do with you. Well, continue playing the detective as you see fit. But if I find the bastard who did that to Elizabeth, I will...
Yes! I would have preferred a simple response, but I see I have my answer now.
Ich habe meine Antwort bekommen. Was zwischen ihnen aus? Die Art ihrer Beziehung würde mich mal interessieren.
Please, tell me a little more about the nature of your relationship.
That is a personal matter, monsieur.
Yes, that is true. So, tell me.
All right. It was passion. That's why we couldn't stay together. It scared her.
I get the impression that your romance was over. Am I right?
So? What does it matter to you? I would never have attacked her, if that's what you're insinuating.
Who put an end to the relationship, you or her?
It was her. It was her. But what does that matter? We both agreed.
You loved her, didn't you?
That is none of your damn business.
Your feelings betray you, sir.
So what? Yes, I loved her, like a moth loves the flame of a candle. That's why we could never be together.
Ja. Auf welchen Verdacht? Die Art der Beziehung, ja, ist... Wo er war, ich weiß, dass sie eine Beziehung hatten. Das hatte ich doch schon, oder?
Excuse me for asking, but did you know Miss Adams?
Oh, she...
Ich kann es nicht wegkriegen. Ich kann es nicht wegkriegen.
Not really, to tell the truth.
Hab's schon gefragt.
No.
I found the Werther dedication, signed by your hand, monsieur. Would you like to change your version now?
Be careful, de Richet. Don't push your luck. My relationship with Miss Adams was pure, and has nothing to do with you. Well, continue playing the detective as you see fit. But if I find the bastard who did that to Elizabeth, I will...
Yes! I would have preferred a simple response, but I see I have my answer now. We finished. I'll have a look around and then take my leave.
Do whatever you have to do.
Ich könnte jetzt eigentlich anklagen, wen ich will. Nicht wen ich will, aber ich bleib bei meinem größten Verdacht. Und damit gehe ich jetzt hoch. Damit gehe ich jetzt hoch. Ich verdächtige ihn jetzt nicht. Meine Antwort habe ich bekommen. Meine Antwort habe ich dadurch bekommen. Napoleon Bonaparte, Napoleon, glaube ich auch nicht, obwohl das auch ein Kriegstreiber war. Obwohl hier scheint er noch jung zu sein. Amerika ist auch noch jung übrigens. George Washington vertraue ich ohne Ende. Erstmal. Kann nicht falsch sein. Aber es kommt für mich nur einer in Frage. Oh mein Gott, wenn ich den Namen jetzt nicht mehr richtig... Ich muss den Namen wissen.
I've come to speak about the findings of the investigation, my lord.
I'm listening, Louis.
Bereits bekannte Fakten. Ich habe Hinweise. Ich glaube, niemanden beschuldigen.
I'm sorry, my lord, but I don't have any evidence conclusive enough to allow me to name the culprit with certitude.
Really? I see. Well, that's your decision, Louis, and I accept it. Given the distinguished guests and the sensitive political issues involved at the conference, I trust you'll leave me to conclude the case in my own way. Right. It's time we spoke about your mother, Louis.
Tja. Sie ist nicht verschwunden, glaube ich nicht.
She isn't missing, you know.
What? What do you mean?
My mother has left traces in every nook and cranny of your island, my lord. She's definitely here. Now, what worries me most is why she doesn't show herself.
That doesn't make me feel any better, Louis.
What was the official reason why my mother came to your island?
I knew about your mother's activities, and yours, in the Golden Order. I thought we had everything to gain by working together.
You mean the cannon deal with Monsieur Bonaparte?
Among others, yes. How did you hear about that?
Monsieur Bonaparte came to speak to me about it yesterday, during lunch.
I see. So impetuous. He was supposed to let me speak to you about it first. Our friend Napoleon desperately needed financial backing to properly equip his army. I took it upon myself to back him because I have a firm conviction that he can go far.
We shall see. However, there's one thing that surprises me. Isn't Bonaparte a bit young to deserve so much attention?
Well, you come straight to the point. I like that. Indeed, if you knew just how much you remind me of him. Trust me, I'll wager that Monsieur Napoleon will soon prove himself. I'm working on it, at least. Once this deal was closed, I had big plans for Sarah.
Such as what?
You see, I've invited several influential figures on my island to present them with a project at the conference. It will be presented later today. I thought that the Golden Order had a role to play. And I still think so. I was hoping Sarah would be able to join us.
I see.
Indeed, if by chance your mother decided not to return to us before the conference, would you do me the great honor of attending? If only to follow the deliberations while waiting for her to duly take her seat.
Why not? We shall see.
Thank you so much. In this way, you'll be able to keep your mother informed of what is said. There's something else I'd like to briefly go over. Earlier, you asked me the official reason for your mother's presence here. Is there an off-the-record reason why your mother came here?
If only my mother trusted me, but she remained very mysterious. I'd have been delighted to answer your question.
Is this usual for her?
As head of the Order, secrets are her bread and butter, as you can imagine. That said, it's the first time she hasn't let me in on the reason for her trip. And it intrigues me, to tell you the truth.
Well, I'm sure that Sarah will explain everything once she reappears. There's something I still don't get. In your opinion, why would your mother remain in hiding over several weeks?
Ja, ich vertraue ja auch niemand. Vielleicht hat sie etwas entdeckt, vielleicht hat sie den Verstand verloren, hat das nicht. Vielleicht traut sie jemand nicht. Das mit ihm entdeckt, lasse ich auch mal sein.
Her not coming back to the manor after so long makes me wonder if she is wary of someone.
Well, certainly. But whom? The only ones who were present during her stay were Sir Gregory, Duchess Hillsborough, Mr. von Wollner, and myself.
Na, es sind wieder Fragen. Adams, misstrauisch war sie. Mortimer gegenüber misstrauisch war sie. Die anderen. Adams war ebenfalls hier, wer war Adams? Die Herzogin, ich will da alles rauslassen.
You forget Elizabeth Adams, my lord.
That's true. But Gregory and I arranged it so that they wouldn't run into each other. I thought it had worked. Do you think that your mother felt she was in danger because of Elizabeth?
It's possible.
The only thing I can tell you is that Sarah had indeed changed. At the beginning of her stay here, we enjoyed spending time together, solving the world's problems.
You seem to know my mother very well, my lord. What did you talk about together?
Oh, as soon as we had a little free time, we liked to share points of view about practically any subject. We would find ourselves embarked on interminable discussions that could go from Monsieur Blanchard's flight in a hot air balloon to the Treaty of Jersey, or the adoption of the metric system in France last year, or even Mr. Eli Whitney's invention in the United States.
Ah, yes. His famous cotton gin. It was supposed to revolutionize cotton production in the United States.
It will revolutionize the world, Louis. The potential of this invention is much greater. Tomorrow, all industries will be switching to simple but large-scale production. Of that, I'm sure.
I'm surprised she didn't get you started on the Crusades. It was her favorite subject.
Are you joking? Sarah and I spent entire days together reliving them. It so happens that the Crusades are also my subject of predilection, especially the third. My ancestor distinguished himself brilliantly during the siege of Saint-Jean d'Acre.
Mother lulled my childhood with tales of the Crusades. How Richard the Lionheart and Philip Augustus had to battle it out to achieve their ends. And how Guy de Lusignan, having broken his word, launched the siege of Saint-Jean d'Acre.
Oh, I see Sarah's lessons have inspired new enthusiasts. Good on you, because not everyone can claim they know as much at your age. Your mother is a very well-read woman. You're quite lucky to have her as a model, Louis.
Yes, I know, but I'm still very worried.
I must admit, there are worse things to worry about now, Louis.
What do you mean?
Since she disappeared, your mother has been seen once. Her behavior on the evening of your arrival greatly surprised Gregory and myself. She resurfaced to attack Emma, Emily Hillsborough's twin sister. And she shot her with a pistol. Then, before Gregory could intervene, she ran off and disappeared again.
I beg your pardon? Hang on.
That means my vision on the wharf, it was actually happening inside the manor. Mother shot Emily's sister? The very person she came looking for? Why would she do that?
Excuse me, but between that and the childhood of Lady Adams, it's all a bit much for me to cope with. I need to piece it all together again to see things more clearly. You said that you spent a lot of time talking together at the beginning. What happened for that to change?
I'm afraid I haven't much to tell you. The more the days went by, the more she withdrew into herself. She never gave me an explanation, until the day came when she purely and simply disappeared.
Where did she go when she wanted to be alone?
She would shut herself away in a room we use as a box room upstairs.
Would you allow me to go there?
Naturally, Louis, of course. I'll send you a servant to open it.
Thank you.
That's all I can tell you about the disappearance of your mother, Louis. I would like to have been more helpful.
I shall stay on her trail and follow up any leads.
Thank you. We will meet later on to welcome our last guest. In the meantime, I shall get someone to open the box room upstairs for you.
Thank you.
Eine Abstellkammer oben. Von wo aus oben?
The room is just opposite Mortimer's study.
Kann ich mir hoch eine Abstellkammer, die oben ist. Wo ist dann welches oben? Wo muss ich denn da noch hin? Jetzt merke ich mir das alles mal so ein bisschen. Jetzt versuche ich erstmal runterzugehen. Geht nicht. Da muss ja dieses oben.
Sir Jacques Perru?
Ach, nicht nochmal, genau. Ja, zum Glück. Ja, die sind alle zu. Oben. Hier ein oben. Oder muss ich erst runter, um nach oben zu kommen? Nein, oben darf ich nicht gehen. Wenn ich jetzt hier im Kreis laufe. Ich glaube nicht, dass ich durch ein Zimmer gehen muss, um irgendwo weiter nach oben zu kommen. Die sind tatsächlich alle zu. Ja, da weiß ich wenigstens. Abstellkammer kann das auch eine sein, dass ich jetzt hier, naja, bin ja kein Stockwerk weiter hoch, dass ich vielleicht irgendjemand jetzt mir hier einen Schlüssel gibt für irgendeinen Raum, den ich noch nicht betreten konnte. Ihr verwirrt mich. Auch zu. Oh nein, hier geht's nicht. Heute, ich laufe doch sonst nur im Kreis. Ah. Ach, das ist doch... Ich bin also praktisch oben. Suche nach Hinweisen. Da komme ich nicht raus. Ist auch gut so.
A Byzant from the Byzantine Empire. A coin often used during the St. Louis era.
Ist das mal? Nein, wieder nicht.
St. Paul on the road to Damascus by Caravaggio. Caravaggio attained a magnificent command of black and the play of colors too. Paul facing an ordeal, the curtains of his illusions being raised, and receives the light from his Savior.
So. Also, Freunde, ich werde an dieser Stelle erstmal Schluss machen hier bei The Council und in diesem Zimmer nächstes Mal weitersuchen. Denn ich habe wieder einen ganzen Film aufgenommen, also 1 Stunde und 25. Ja, ich hoffe, euch hat es ein bisschen gefallen. Ich weiß, die Aufrufe sind ein bisschen wenig bei mir. Ich weiß nicht, was ihr da macht. Na gut, jetzt ist Sommer wahrscheinlich. Da YouTuben die Leute weniger. Oder, naja, ich weiß es nicht. Okay, dann bin ich erstmal weg. Bis zum nächsten Mal hier bei The Council. Vielen Dank fürs Zusehen und Zuhören. Tschüss.